Hello and welcome to the Beet Goes On podcast. Today we're going to talk about Beettan products. We get a lot of questions. I have Missy on with me today because she knows a lot of the questions. She asks the right questions.
I feel like I ask a lot of the questions, but I've learned a lot through doing your training videos, kind of the science behind it. But I think this episode would be good to share some cool tips and tricks.
You've been to the Beet retreat and heard the questions. You've been in the office when customers come in. So I think it's good to have her on. So I think the importance of knowing everything about the products and what they do, and to understand in what scenarios to push them for an upsell when someone comes in for a spray tan. For instance, I myself get too dark every week. I spray. You also
I like
to add
really
drops,
dark,
and she likes to be really dark. So when it comes down to the day where it starts to fade, the fading happens a little more quickly because there's such a contrast to the natural skin tone. And also the active ingredient DHA is drying. So anytime you add more DHA, it's going to dry you out a little more. So that's why exfoliation with the Beet It scrub prior, it's important because it's high in vitamin C. It's going to get all that dead skin off, and it's going to prevent that.
Yeah, and I think that exfoliation is key, whether you're getting a spray tan or using the at-home products. I actually had a friend who, she does not spray tan with Beettan, but she got a free spray tan, and she had all this patchiness up and down her arms, and it obviously had bronzer in it, so that it was all sitting on top of her skin. And the first thing that I asked her, I said, "Did you exfoliate before you got that done?" And she said no.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, I have to share a personal experience about the dangers of over exfoliating. So there was a time. Okay, so there was a time last summer where I was learning about the products, and I learned the hard way that there's a difference between chemical exfoliants and physical exfoliants. So I had the Beet scrub. I would think I was trying to get my spray tan off to get a new one before going to an event or something. So I started by...
And you were trying the at-home products too. So you had a buildup of DHA. Yes. She had gotten a spray tan, plus had given her products, and she had...
Yes, I was a guinea pig.
Overdone it.
Guinea pig. So anyway, but there was a point last summer where I had done... I think I did the Beet Off chemical exfoliant, and I went in the shower, and then I shaved, and then did the physical exfoliant. But then later that afternoon, before I could go get a spray tan by you, one of my girlfriends invited me to her pool, her community pool. And I went in just up to my waist. I didn't go totally under. But later, I think that night or that next morning, I woke up and I had bumps, red bumps all over my chest and my legs. And what I later realized is that I actually broke through my natural skin barrier. And then all of the bacteria and chlorine and chemicals from the pool just ruined my skin. And I had that skin issue.
She had raw skin in a pool.
And I didn't even think about it.
And it took a while for it to heal, right?
Yeah, it took almost a month to kind of get back together, which ruined my summer, let me be the cautionary tale here.
Because you were worried about getting a tan until that skin had healed.
Yes.
It's hard to tan on damaged skin.
Yeah, and the texture just wasn't good. So one of your employees actually recommended that I use this product that had cyclophate in it, and that really helped with healing your natural barrier. So if you are experiencing over exfoliation or having bumps and redness from that, don't get the spray tan. Yeah, wait it out.
It's rare for that to happen, but it is she scrubbed pretty hard for her skin to be that raw. Really, I scrub once a week really hard I did it today actually, right when my spray tan, I sprayed, last week was St. Patrick's Day, actually Monday was St. Patrick's Day. Already feels like a lifetime away. But I sprayed on Friday, way too dark because I wanted to be super dark because I was wearing a green shorter dress. So I added drops to the spray tan solution, and I also sprayed a little heavier than I normally would, enough for it to absorb. So you never want to spray your client to the point they can't get dressed afterwards. I was able to get dressed immediately after because it needs to absorb evenly. So if you spray tan too much, meaning if you overspray the spray tan solution, it's not going to absorb into the skin properly or evenly. And it's going to cause unevenness. And there's also more risk for it to move around. So We had one of the spray tan partners sent me a message this week. Her clients like to be dark. This particular client was a little curvier. She liked to be dark. She wanted to be sprayed heavier. I never recommend that. So she sprayed heavy instead of adding the DHA drops, and then put leggings on or pants on and went about her day. And it transferred from sweat from her shoes and socks. And there's really it transferred and stayed and then developed. So it was really hard to go backwards. We recommended that she, exfoliate it, and instead of getting a spray tan over it, use one of the products like the booster or the lavender to even it out. That's just a better way of dealing with it than the spray tan is 12% DHA. So if you're spraying on a spray, what is dark is going to get dark. It's just going to create more unevenness.
Yes.
So you want to use the products that are a little more for blending.
So I have had good luck on my own, and you can tell me if you'd recommend this to your crew to use or not. But if I've ever gotten a spray tan that's developing and I am drinking a coffee or water and condensation drips on me, I feel like I'm prone to getting water on me after I have a spray tan. But I've used one of the tanning mitts and just the tanning water and just kind of use that to kind of reset the
so the tanning water, the tanning face.
I've done the mousse too.
The lavender mousse and the booster are low in DHA percentage, so they're easier to build on and fix mistakes on top of a spray tan. It just is a better match for blending that out. I did get asked today from Allison. She said, well, should I... Okay, so we also have a blending butter, which can be confusing. The blending butter is used to either moisturize on its own to keep up, but its sole purpose in the beginning was to blend out problematic areas like elbows, knees, ankles, wrist, fingers,
kind of the joint mobile areas, definitely.
Right. So you can't blend it after it's already developed. So it is to blend before the DHA has developed and reacted with the skin. So no, it will not blend after the fact. So that is what the boosters and the lower percentage of DHA, the lavender, the booster, the water, the serum, and the drops, those have a lower percentage of DHA. So those are more for blending. If there was a mishap and the client, like the one who just had some kind of transfer or sweat or water or some mishap that caused an uneven development. But prior to doing that, you always want to exfoliate. Meaning if there's an uneven area, lightly exfoliate it with a rag or one of our scrub gloves. And in circular motion, I would say enough to where you can tell to the touch that it's smoother, and then apply the booster or one of the lower DHA products. Like Missy said, she sprayed the water, did it with the Met, and it will even the tan out. But if you put... Our spray tan solution is very concentrated. If you put something as concentrated that's in the 9 to 12% DHA world on top of a spray tan, it's not going to create evenness. It's going to create a patchy fade. It might look good for a day or two. So that's what these other products are for. They're not only for extending the life of your spray tan, upkeeping it when someone uses heavier face products with retinols, the face serum, the tanning water, and the drops are a good way to maintain it because it's skin. I think what people don't understand is it's skin. It's not a buildable thing. I love when people are like, okay, if I get a spray tan today, let's say it's Monday, on a Monday, and then get another one on Friday, will it last longer? And that's not how it works.
No.
It's
and
skin.
I think something we
your skin sheds.
Something we overlook too is that, so we get a spray tan or we do the, tanner at home. But when you're doing it on your face and then you're wearing makeup and then you're washing the makeup off of your face, that's the first place to be fading. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why the facial mist or the tanning spray and all
the
that.
Drops. We have 3 different products that you can use.
To kind of replenish
people like the drop, and people would be like, well, why would I choose each one? The water is just easy. It's spray and go, easy breezy. The serum is more rich in vitamin C, so if you do have really dry skin, the serum might be a little better for you. However, the tanning water also has jojoba oil, avocado oil. I like the water on my chest, the tops of my shoulders. I like to keep my hands. The serum just has a nice glow because it has the vitamin C in it. I like to use it with my skincare regimen. And then the tanning drops, a lot of people buy because it's a teeny tiny size. So
yeah, easy to travel with. And I think that's a question that we get a lot too, is like when you're spraying someone to go on a vacation,
right?
It's always good to upsell some of those products because they can extend the life
and if they're
of their
like,
tan.
oh, I'm only going to go on with the carry-on, push the tanning drops. Otherwise, any of the products, just whatever they prefer. If they prefer serum over a spray, push the face serum.
Yes.
The face serum's a little harder to get on the neck and chest, so that's why the tanning water typically tends to sell better. But both are great products and give you a good glow and are easy. But the face water can be used in more areas where the serum is typically just for the face and neck. And then another product that we can talk about are the Beet It and the Beet Off. The Beet Off is a tanning eraser. So earlier when Missy was saying a chemical, it's because it's a reaction with your skin. It's still all plant-based, all like natural. So sometimes when people hear chemical, everything's a chemical. If like anytime you cook, anything you use is a chemical. There's a chemical reaction with everything on the planet. In our case, everything is plant-based and clean. But that Beet Off, what it does, our tanning eraser, which we call Beet Off, which is hilarious. So when you have buildup, like I do, I did this week on my legs from going too dark, and then I used the booster. So I had a little buildup just because I wanted to stay really dark for the 4 or 5 days that we were celebrating St. Patrick's Day here. So the fade was not really pretty yesterday. I got in the shower, or before I got in the shower, I put the Beet Off on. I let it soak for 5 minutes. I get in the shower, use my scrub glove, and I scrub in circular motion rather than up and down motion because circular motion prevents streakiness. So if you're going up and down, chances are you might miss a sliver.
Yeah, and
but
have
if you're
lines.
going in circular motions, you're most likely going to get the area. And it really is a take your time thing. Like it's not like, I will say I myself am impatient with most things in life, but this is your skin and you've got a lot of it. You've got a lot of skin cells there, so you need to make sure you cover every spot, which is, and do with the scrub glove. And then what I do is I then use my Beet It following the Beet Off. Like once I rinse the Beet Off and scrub it off with the scrub glove, then I use the same scrub glove, grab a dollop of the Beet It scrubbing sugar, and that's going to replenish the skin with vitamin C because it's a high in vitamin C scrub, and it's not going to leave any residue so that I can get my fresh spray tan that day. And it works every time. I have a shower only. I don't have a bath, but a bath actually works way better.
A bath definitely soaks it up. And I do think that like the Beet It and the Beet Off are kind of slept on when it comes to like the selection of products that we talk about and upsell. But I honestly think that the Beet It is one of my favorite products because if you're like going out on a date and you want to seem like super fresh and like have really smooth, beautiful skin, it like angel soft. It makes your skin so unbelievably soft. So even if like you're not tanning, it's good to
those weird like dry bumps too that we get, especially when the weather's back and forth.
Yeah, or I just recommend like I use it once every other week. So even just a product on its own,
you don't have to just use it to prep for spray tan.
Yeah.
But I will say like spray tanning in the past years were something that you just did for special occasions. I do it every 7 days.
Yeah.
It would probably last 10 days, but I like the way it looks when it's the first 7 days. So every 7 days on the sixth night, let's say I get sprayed on a Thursday, the following Wednesday, the night before day 7, I will shave, put my Beet Off tanning eraser on to get off any residue, soak in it for 5 minutes, do my scrub, then scrub it off with my scrub glove, then add my Beet It buffing sugar to buff all the dead skin and replenish the nutrients in the skin with the vitamin C. Then I get out and I use my Beet blending butter, which is actually a shea butter, to moisturize. I think what people forget is if you do your exfoliation and your shaving and everything the night before,
yes,
then you still need to moisturize. They won't put any lotion on, and that's not what, if you're within like 6 or more hours before your spray tan, actually it's 2, you could even get away with it with 2 hours, just not with anything with oil. So we typically say just do it the night before and come get your spray tan the next day. But all of that is prepping and cushioning your skin for a clean canvas for the spray tan. So you have all the dead skin off, and what you do have, your remaining skin, your fresh skin is now moisturized.
Yeah, and supple.
And ready. And then the spray tan solution has aloe in it, which is a natural pH balance. So we don't have to have all of that pH balance pre-spray.
Yes.
Which makes the session fast and easy.
I have also learned from you, like from your expertise, that it's the reason why you guys say like to try to shave and exfoliate the day before too is like if you shave too close up to your spray tan appointment, your pores are open and then you get those little brown dots like on your legs and like
then your pores close later and you'll notice that that's overdeveloped where that pore closed.
Yes, exactly.
Which
so
the Beet It can help, but then you're going to fade your tan as well. So it's just better all in all to get it done. To just get it all done, get it all exfoliated and shaved the night before, come and get your spray tan, wear it. We can talk about the different spray tan solutions.
Yes. So to clarify, you've already mentioned that we don't overspray our client if they want to be darker. Mm-hmm. You really don't get, after 2 passes, it really doesn't make a difference. They're just going to be
slightly heavier, but if they are visibly shinier, I would say just overlap a little more, but if after the first coat, you can visibly tell that they have a spray tan on, go way lighter on the second coat. It needs to be they need to be able to get dressed quickly after their spray tan.
Yes.
Because it's going to absorb properly. If it's that wet that it's uncomfortable for them to spray, 2 reasons. It's uncomfortable for them to get dressed. There's chance that it's gonna transfer and move around because it's not fully absorbed into the skin cell. 2, you're wasting product. You're not going to make the most out of your bottle of spray tan solution. And then the other thing is you have the DHA drops. Just use the DHA drops.
Yeah.
If they want to be darker and you used 3 full dropper fulls, I use 6 full dropper fulls, not drops. You fill the tincture up as much as it'll go up. Sometimes I know it's easy to overthink, but just fill it up like you're a chemist. Just squeeze that thing as hard as it goes. Do 6. If you don't think it was enough, do 7. If you don't think it's enough, do 8.
Yeah, just follow your gut.
Follow your gut.
That.
Put it in there. It's going to make them darker. If you do it to a half a cup, you can just dilute it later. Fill it right back up to the top line and dilute it, and it will have diluted that DHA. But if you have a client who you did 6 or 7 full dropper fulls, and the next time they're like, I still didn't get dark enough, charge them. I charge them $5 per 6 to 7 dropper fulls. And then they'll come back the next time. We have great margins on this, so you're not wasting a ton of money by doing this. Do 8 to 10 the next time and fill the cup a little less than half a cup. And then then you can still spray them where they're comfortable enough to get dressed, but you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about it transferring because you're not adding more product on to their body. But just know their fade is going to be a little funky, just like mine was, because I did the same thing last week.
Right. So to clarify, when they're adding in the tanning drops, that's just creating a higher level of DHA in that concentration of the formula. So you said a regular spray tan's like 14%. Mm-hmm. So it'd be like bumping you up more.
Our spray tan solution is 12%.
12%.
And it's hard to say what percentage it is when you add those drops.
Yeah.
But they are going to darken it.
Turbocharging it.
Yes. It's boosting it up. And then explain to the client that, because here's what happens. I'll get a client and she'll come in on let's say Monday, get a spray tan, ask for the darkening drops. And then on Friday, she's like, hey, my tan looks a little scaly. Well, yeah, because you asked for extra DHA. Mm-hmm. For the best results, you just go with what it'll do. But if they have a competition or whatever. So I had a client do that. She got sprayed on Monday. She asked for the darkening drops on Friday. She had plans for the weekend. I didn't want to spray on top of that. I had her come by. She picked up the Beet It and the Beet Off, the tanning eraser. Gave a good scrub. Once she scrubbed, she still had color on.
Yeah.
She just gotten a lot. It actually scrubbing evened it out. And then she came back in and we did the clear solution to bump it up. I didn't want to do a full 12% tan. What I would have done is exfoliated and used one of the at-home products, the self tanner or the mousse.
Yeah.
That are lower in concentrate. After evening out the unevenness to bring it back to life. I've done the mousse on top of a week-old spray tan many, many, many times.
Yeah.
The booster will extend the life of it if you start using that on day 4. But if you're on day 7 or 10 and you scrub it, most of it off, you can use the mousse. So it's really just an art of understanding how much is still there, how much dead skin you got off. You can tell visibly by looking at it. I like to go too dark, so there's a true science and art to it. You can't put tan on tan to even it out if it's patchy. You've got to get as much of that patchiness scrubbed off.
Yeah.
And then the next step is, okay, how much did I scrub off? If the majority of it's gone, you're safe to use the self tanner and any of the mousses, which are around 8 to 10% in DHA. If there's still a ton of it there, then use something like the booster, the lavender, or the water to replenish it. So I hope that makes sense. It's more of like, I don't know, like when you're, I don't know, if you're layering paint, you know, if it's the color you want it to be, but if you put another layer, it's going to get a little darker.
You have to get paint stripper or else it's just going to have a weird texture
like hard,
to it.
Exactly. It's got to be smooth. You've got to layer it properly based on how it looks and learn your skin as well. Like the young skin can just pile it on for some reason, and but as we get older, we get a little drier, a little creepier.
We have a little bit less like collagen elasticity and moisture in it. So, and the time of year definitely is a factor in it too. Like winter, our skin is drier. Summer, it can be more moist if you're in places like Savannah where it's humid.
So there's just so many factors. Did they shave and exfoliate the night before and lotion? That's for the best results.
Yeah.
Were they sprayed heavy or did they ask to be darker? There's so many factors. So just understanding that it's skin, and that the skin, you have to have a clean canvas, and that canvas needs to be moisturized and hydrated prior, not the right before, but prior. And you'll have clients come in and you'll be able to tell like that they didn't shave and exfoliate. Oh, yeah. So I try to educate them without getting onto them. I don't know.
Yes. Well, I think you can manage their expectations if you know that and talk to them about it before being like, did you exfoliate? And they say no, you just give the disclaimer. There may be some unevenness, but if you want to buy this beat off or the
right, and some people just want to be tan for the weekend and they don't care if it looks like crap by Tuesday. They'll hold on to it forever and they'll whatever. Yeah, like that's fine. But then you'll get those people who want to maintain this, and that's why it's really important. We don't just have a lot of products just to upsell them. There's actually a function and purpose. There's a function and purpose for all the products.
And don't be afraid to ask your clients questions. I mean, this is definitely like a client first, relationship first sort of deal. Spray tanning people is very intimate. So like, don't be afraid to say, what was your process before coming here? Did you shave and exfoliate? Get all of the intel that you need to make the most informed decision for them.
So let's say they didn't exfoliate. They're like, oh no, I didn't have time.
Okay.
I would set their expectations and say, okay, your spray tan's probably going to look good, but it may not fade as evenly because you didn't get all the dead skin off. So some skin cells are going to
shed
sooner. Also, the active ingredient in any self tanner, in our case, it comes from a beet. I like them to know that it's not our self tanner that dries them out. DHA, the active ingredient in all self tanners, in our case, comes from a beet, and is the mildest. It does have a drying effect to it. The process of it turning the skin dark is drying. So it's really important to not only exfoliate and prep and have a clean canvas and moisturize the night before, or 12 hours before, or 6 hours or 2 hours. It's just better if they have a full 24 hours or the night before. But anyway, it's really good to let them know that is a part of the process. Then we spray the spray tan solution on, and if they feel dry and can get dressed immediately after, and they didn't ask for any DHA drops, they're most likely going to have the best results. But then I want to be way darker than I would actually normally tan from the sun.
Guilty.
So I will add DHA drops, but I know that on day 5 and 6, I'm going to start having to really help it off because my natural skin tone is coming through. And also because I used a higher concentrated DHA, it's drying. So moisturizing, hydrating, and exfoliating. I think when they have the spray tan on, they forget, or they don't. They feel like they're scrubbing their tan off. But
right.
Scrubbing is a part of maintaining. And if they do scrub a layer of skin off and it does fade, that's when you recommend the booster or the lavender to bring that top layer back to life.
And to clarify too, your formula is having a natural reaction or chemical reaction to the outer dermis of your skin. So it's not like it has a bronzer mixed in where like if you scrub it off, the bronzer is going to come off. This is like
you're getting skin off.
Exactly.
Yes. And even those spray tan solutions that have the heavy bronzers, those bronzers only last 3 days. So you still kind of want to help them off too. But the bronzers typically come off a lot faster
like
if
they
you
sit
scrub.
on your skin.
So it's confusing because you want to keep the bronzers on there because the bronzers are pretty. They're just a mess. So we took the stain bronzer out of it.
I think this
if they're not matched properly, they can look orangey and there's just
exactly.
all kinds of mishaps
This
with
is
it.
like the benefits of having like a universal one shade fits all formula. And you can play with
it more. Like if you notice that you messed it up, you can kind of scrub it off and put more there with a lower content. So it's just don't spray on a spray tan. Use a lower concentrate of a product if it's within 3 to 5 days of getting your spray tan. If it's over 5 days, do a good exfoliation, and you can use something with a higher content like the self tanner and the mousse to replenish the tan. I'll get a spray tan. I'll go on vacation. Anytime I'm in the ocean on a vacation, you're going to fade faster. So I'll take the mousse with me because if I'm getting in and out the ocean or hot tubs, I'll just give myself a good exfoliation in the shower and replenish it with the mousse, even though I just had a spray tan before I left for my vacay.
And I feel like the clear solution is a game changer for like vacations and traveling because you can like put it on when you sleep. It's not going to stain the sheets or anything like that.
The self tanner, not the solution.
Yes, the clear solution,
the clear foam solution, the clear foam, the lavender or the self tanner are clear, and so they're really good. But even any of the darker mousses, when you're in and out the ocean, that's an exfoliant. So it depends on how much darker you want to maintain. Some of the fair skin types really don't feel comfortable going dark on dark on dark, so they'll go with something lower like the booster or the lavender, where I would probably get in and out the ocean and do the deep beet bronze to maintain the darkness that my self tanner. But again, getting any excess skin off is key to maintaining it and keeping it even. Definitely.
So why don't we roll into the different types of mousses, because there's
two. There's three now.
Yeah.
So there's two that are straight self tanners. The darkest is the deep dark, the deep beet bronze, which is more for olive skin tones.
That just came out this year, right?
Yes. In the last year, and it is super popular. It's an instant gratification. There is a vegan bronzer in there. Again, not a staining bronzer, so it's not going to do anything to your sheets, your bed, your deodorants, your nail bed, your hair. But it does get it's a little richer, a little deeper concentrate of the beet DHA. So that's our darkest mousse. The next level would be our coconut mousse, which is a coconut water base. I like the coconut because it actually doesn't last as long. So what I like about it only lasting 5 days is I can build on it and maintain a dark, or I can put it on 5 or 6 days after my spray tan. It has a nice smell. It just wears a little different, and it's more of a medium dark. So the deep beet is deeper. That's why we named it deep beet. And the coconut's like a little lighter than that and not as rich, and you can apply it a little more often. The next level down on the mousse would be the lavender, which is either just a light, healthy glow. A lot of people like to use it in the winter.
Yes.
Or you can use it to maintain your spray tan. Or let's say use the deep beet bronze. It's not quite all gone, but you kind of want to bring it back to life. You could use it once you've noticed fading with any of the products, the spray tan. So it's going to extend the life. For me, for instance, I touch my chest a lot. I fade a lot faster here.
Yeah.
I'll use the deep beet bronze, get really dark. And then where I notice fading, I'll use a little bit of the lavender or the booster. But those are the three mousses. And then the lotions are the self tanner, which is our darker one. Now, it is buildable because it's more moisturizing. You can use it more often. I'll usually do 2 coats of it. That's the darkness that I prefer. It's 8% of the active ingredient, and then the next level down is the booster, which is 2% of the active ingredient.
Right.
Both of them are buildable, but the booster, like the lavender, can extend the life of any tan, or you can use it by itself for a little color and build on it, and you have a little more wiggle room. So if you're scared of self tanners, the lavender and the booster are for you, because it's just going to kind of give you a light layer until you reach the darkness, and they all take 6 to 8 hours to show up.
Yes. And so with the mousses, we're applying those with the tanning mitt. But then with the lotions, you're going to be using your hands, and you have to wash your hands, scrub them thoroughly.
So here's the tip. So with the mousses, always use a mitt. the reason that you want to use a mitt is because think of a foam. It's more of like a water base. The coconut one is coconut water. The other one is aloe and water. And it's so that it has that foamy texture to it. And it's also the bottle the pump when it comes out. It's what creates that texture. And if you put it on your hands are going to soak it all up. So the mitt is meant to, it's a very plush material, and it's meant to use with the mousse. So then the lotions, we have had people buy the mitts for the lotions. I like to feel it going on. I apply it in circular motion. I make sure I get all of you take your time with any self tanner. I cannot tell people this enough. It doesn't just spread itself magically. Where it goes, it tans. Where it doesn't go, it doesn't.
Yes.
So think about that when applying it on your skin.
Have a plan for your back.
Yeah, have a plan for your back.
Whew.
And take your time. Apply any of these products, whether you're using the mousse, whether you're using the lotion. Always do circular motions to prevent streaking. If you go up and down, you're more likely going to have a stripe or a line, which will have a streak. So circular motion and overlapping and taking your time will ensure even application. So you can apply any of these products after using the self tanner. Because you're using your hands, you want to wash your hands thoroughly immediate. Don't wait an hour.
Yes, do not wait.
Once it touches your skin, every hour it's developing a little darker. Go straight to the sink, take soap, scrub your hands, and then scrub them dry. A lot of us tend to like circle our hands and forget the inside.
Yeah,
and
get
forget
under your nail,
under your nails, wherever the lotion
figure.
touches, it's going to tan. If you miss scrubbing that with soap, so then what I do is I use soap, and then afterwards I scrub dry them. I take the rag, I get in between my fingers, I get my wrist, I
like
scrub
the
my
webbing of
palms.
your hands.
So even the drying is a part of the scrubbing. And then I use a regular lotion. I use the blending butter to moisturize my hands to ensure that it didn't get stuck in a callus or extremely dry part of our skin. I know I get calluses because I'm a spray tanner. So just think it's skin. The thicker skin, like our heels, our palms, sometimes our knuckles can get a little callousy. The inside of our fingers is just a different skin. It's important to wash, scrub dry, and moisturize those after with the regular. We use the blending butter at Beettan to ensure that we get it all off and moisturize our hands afterwards.
Yes. Funny side story. There was a girl on TikTok that I saw where she was like, I have self tanner on my hands. I have to go to an event and I don't know what to do. And I was like messaging with her being like, use like soap and a pumice stone, right?
Right.
Or
a pumice stone works every time. I get this stuff on me all the time. It's always quite baffling if someone... They just didn't. The only time it doesn't come off is if you don't wash your hands at all after.
Yes. So she didn't. It looked so bad. And so she was like, I don't have that. So she tried using bleach. She tried using toothpaste.
That's wild.
She tried. And I literally was just messaging her being like, you just need to exfoliate it all. Like, do not bleach your hands. That's going to mess up your skin. So if you do
make a mistake like that, I had a friend recently who went way too far down on her ankles, and she had just a brown weird circle on her ankle and heel. And so I had her use the bead off. But let's say you don't have the product and you need it fixed right then and there. Warm water with Epsom salt, which is also healthy. The Epsom salt is a great exfoliator. Soak it in the warmest to hot water that you can stand and just let it soak. Take a pumice stone, something rough like that. It will fade it dramatically. But there's no putting chemicals like bleach and stuff are just
do not that will kill the integrity of your skin.
It's so dumb because what's happened is the DHA has developed the thick skin, right? You can't dye bleach that skin back. It just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that.
So I have also
skin isn't fabric. You can't bleach your skin.
You cannot, and please don't. I've also had really good luck with micellar water. That's helped me before when I needed to get like patchiness on my face off, and then I was like, I could use it on my whole body if I needed to. But I'd say that's a big backup plan in case of emergency.
After you wash, let's say you wash your hands, and our blending. I'll actually. We'll finish this off with the blending butter. The blending butter is used to right after. Some people get it confused with barrier cream. It's actually used to blend it in. So let's say you put the self tanner. A lot of times people end up with circles like on the top of their hand.
Yeah.
So if you do want to tan your fingers, make sure you crease them like you look like you have a scary claw when you apply it. And then use the blending butter to blend it in the creasy areas, the wrist, and make sure, and then wipe your palms off with a wet rag. If you're using the mousse, if you're using lotion, wash your palms and then use the blending butter. It's going to really blend out those areas for you. And then I just like to spritz the tanning water on, because the tanning water has that avocado and jojoba oil and rosehip oil. So for me, the tanning water works the best for my hands, but I'll still get in my creases with the blending butter, because all you're doing, there's no magic formula that gets in those creases. They settle in creases just like anything.
Before we wrap up, can we just talk about your best recommendations for like applying to your feet and ankles? I know like a spray tan definitely works, but like how far do you recommend going down?
Go all the way down.
Do you do your foot? Do you go to your heel?
So you can do the tops of your foot. So think about how the sun tans you. When you're standing on the beach, you're walking, how would the sun tan my feet? So first picture that, right? So then use your mitt or your lotion and again, circular motions and get down there with the understanding that your ankles are drier, your heels, and your feet are a drier skin. So apply it, and then I take a rag with hot water, wipe the bottoms of my feet off in case, wipe my toenails off. Yeah. And then I use the blending butter on my toes, because just like the knuckles of your toes. I don't know if you call these knuckles.
They're knuckles,
and like the weird part of your ankle. Just imagine like the sun doesn't really get you super dark right there, unless some of us from different ethnicities do get really dark bottoms of our feet, but typically they're lighter. So those are the areas you want to put that heavy whipped shea butter, which is our blending butter, to ensure that it doesn't get dark. Let's say you make a mistake. That's the beautiful thing about Beettan. The next day you can just take that mousse, get that little spot, put a little more blending butter, and it's going to even it out every time.
Okay. Last question. Should you mousse your armpits or not?
No.
Okay. Or so just get this kind of area
here. Get kind of around it. Anywhere where skin touches skin, when you shut your arm, when you close your arm and your armpits touching your boob and the bottom of it's going to create kind of a brown circle. If you don't like the way it looks, don't wear deodorant. Put the blending butter on. Put the self tanner on your armpit. Then put the deodorant on, and then use some blending butter and blend it out so it doesn't. It's almost like setting it. I know,
because the worst thing is like you being all tan and then you lift your arms and there's like a white spot, but also
really,
it looks worse.
It looks worse. And the majority of us that are in the sun, whether you're playing a sport, you're laying at the beach, we don't sit around with our arms up forever.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Typically your armpits are not tan. So just think about, you're trying to mimic what the sun does.
Yeah.
Not tan every inch of your body that doesn't naturally tan.
Well, that makes perfect sense. I know we're running out of time.
Speaking of tans, I've got spray tan appointments.
Yes. So I guess we'll wrap this up, but I think that was a very informative, helping with tips and tricks and knowing kind of like the purpose of each.
I think the trick is mimic what the sun would do. Drier, creasier skin needs some type of blending or blending butter. Shaving, exfoliating the night before, and moisturizing when you do that is very important. And then not over applying product.
Yes. And I think the more fluent you can become with this product knowledge, the more helpful you can be to a client if they're calling you with questions.
Right. And now that you have all this knowledge, when you have a problem with a client and you go through the steps, it will just become second nature, and there will be no more freakouts.
Yes.
I don't freak out anymore.
So the products are not just an upsell. They all have a purpose and can help.
All the function and a purpose to work together.
Exactly.
Empowering women
and
10 at a time.
They make your skin so soft and beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks for having me on, Michelle. Always a pleasure. Have fun with your tans.
Bye, guys.